I'm sorry, I'll just have to give me a quick second. Today was wash day and my hair is so stiff. Feels like it has arthritis. Hey y'all, welcome back to the Nurse Nook. If you guys are new subscribers or just tuning into the video, welcome to my channel. So I recently did a Q&A that was all about me, and if you guys have not seen that, make sure you go watch it. The link is going to be down below. But this video is going to be a Q&A geared towards nursing specific questions. So these again are all questions submitted by you guys about nursing. I got a lot of advice questions, personal experience questions, but this is all going to be again about nursing. This video is going to be in two parts because I got so many questions and I wanted to get to as many questions as possible, so I decided to split it into two different videos. So make sure you go watch the next one. It'll probably be out the day after this one comes out. All right, so first question is, do you ever get used to working long shifts? And I'm glad to say that yes, you do get used to working long shifts. I remember, well, when I first started clinicals, I thought they were gonna be like, you know, the 7 to 7 shifts like a regular nurse, but they're really not. They were like 9 hours long, maybe even less than that, maybe sometimes even 8 hours, I think, when we first started. So even when I did that, I'm like, oh my god, this is so long. But then when I actually started working as a tech in the hospital, my first 12-hour shift, let me take a step back, okay? They tell you the shifts are 12 hours, lies. The shifts are more like 13 hours. You always get there 15 minutes early and then you end up leaving like 30 minutes after 7, so it's never really 12 hours. But anyway, so I remember my first day as a tech, I went home and my feet were crying. Oh my goodness, my toes were like this when I took off my shoes. They were hurting so bad and I was so exhausted. Like the level of exhaustion doesn't compare to anything I had ever felt in my life. Like, I didn't want to talk to anybody when I got home. I took a shower, I ate, and I just laid in bed like this. I just like sunk into the mattress because I was dead tired. And I was like, how do people do this? I can't be doing this every day. I'm gonna die. Like, this is torture. And let me tell you, a few shifts in and it was nothing. But as I kept working more and more shifts, I got used to it and I built up, you know, my fitness basically, because that's what it is. You're on your feet all day walking, and I don't live, well, it feels like I live there, but I work on a very large unit and I feel like it's a mile around and I have to like get to so many patients in so many rooms. So I'm constantly walking back and forth all day. And that is basically being fit. That's a workout. I haven't yet, but I should start tracking my steps. I probably walk anywhere between like 5 and 8 miles a day. That's how much walking and running I'm doing. And it's not only the physical part of it, it's being at work for so long, you know, having to have like 2-3 meals at work and being there all day and being away from your family for so long. It does take a little bit getting used to, but honestly, I'd rather work 12 hours a day, 3 days a week than work 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. Like, I love getting all my hours done in like a short amount of days and then having the rest of the time like just to myself. I love the 12-hour shifts. They're tiring, but yes, you do get used to it. And a lot of people end up loving it and never wanting to go back to like a 9-to-5 job. What is your best study tip? I made a video on my best study secrets and I'm gonna link that down below. Make sure you guys go watch. There's a lot of really good study tips in there that are really beneficial to nursing students and people hoping to get into the nursing program, so make sure you guys go check that out. Okay, this is a long one. I hear that NP programs are now requiring you to have your doctorate. After finding this out, I've been considering med school because it would take the same amount of time. My biggest concern with choosing nursing is feeling restricted. My question is, do you ever feel frustratingly restricted? That's actually a really good question. Honestly, not really. There's some things that nurses can't do. Obviously, we can't make our own orders, but you would be surprised how much autonomy nurses do have. Like, when I first started nursing school and was learning about, you know, the scope of practice of a nurse and what we actually can do, I was like, wait, we can do that? Like, we there's a lot of times where doctors are not available, where nurses have to act on their own and save patients' lives by following protocols and knowing like the policies and procedures of your hospital. Because doctors are only there, they only see your patient once a day for like 5 minutes, and then it's just you and the patient. So yes, the doctor is making orders and all that stuff, but you are the one, you know, using your brain to see what is going to work for this patient and what you're going to do for them. So although I haven't started working as an RN yet, I have been in the hospital for a while, and I've seen, you know, the side of nursing and doctors. And I, even as a student nurse, I was shadowing the nurse. I never felt like they were restricted at all. Following that question, things to consider when deciding between nursing and medicine. I get this question a lot, and honestly, it's a great question because I also was deciding between nursing and medicine, and I ultimately obviously chose nursing. But the big thing, and I'm gonna make a video about nursing school versus medical school for people that are like on the fence. It really is about what you're interested in. If you're interested in the science and the diagnosis and following disease processes and more like the textbook type of stuff, then medicine is probably going to be more for you. But if you're more into physically wanting to care for people and actually helping them recover, that's more what nursing is about. Don't get me wrong, doctors cure patients all the time. That's what they do. You know, they help you recover. But the nurses are actually the ones by the patient's side who carries them out, who teaches them, like they do all that stuff. Doctors spend a lot less time with patients than nurses do. Like doctors are more the brain of healthcare and nurses are like the heart. So it just depends on what you're interested in. If you really are looking for patient care and interacting with patients, I would say nursing is for you. But if you really enjoy the science aspect and you're not really so much interested in patient care, I would say medicine. Do I plan on getting my NP? Absolutely. That is the only reason I went into nursing school. I went into the nursing school with the idea that I just didn't want to be an RN forever. My end goal was always NP. Like RN was just a stepping stone to NP. And I don't regret not going the MD route because I love nursing and I love what nursing stands for. And I think NP is like if an MD and an RN had a baby, it would be an NP because I get the best of both worlds. I still get that close patient care contact, and then I also get, you know, the diagnosis and finding out what's wrong with patients from like the medicine standpoint. So after working for about 3 years, I'll probably go back for my NP. What was your favorite part about nursing school? That's a good question. My favorite part about nursing school. I think my favorite part about nursing school was learning about like disease processes and like how to care for things. Because I'm still very like geeky in the aspect that I love like science and I like learning about how stuff works. And honestly, nursing is pretty cool. Like there's a lot of interesting stuff you learn. Like every day in lecture there was always something like, oh my god, wow, really? That's crazy. And I just love getting like that insider scoop on like healthcare. What is one of the scariest moments as a student nurse? Oh my god. Okay, so my scariest moment as a student nurse was probably my first day in clinical, y'all. So I'm so blessed that for your first day they put you, well, this is how my school did. I don't know if every school does it like this, but they pair you with somebody because obviously they know that not everyone has healthcare experience and you probably have no idea what you're doing, so they pair you with somebody else so you don't feel alone. And I was paired with somebody else and I still felt like, oh, what the hell am I doing? Our instructor like brought us in the room and they introduced us to our patient, and then she left and me and the girl looking at each other like, what are we gonna do? And all we had to do was take vital signs, and I was so nervous. Oh my gosh, I was like taking the blood pressure, like it was so bad. Oh my gosh. Now I walk in the patient's room like, hey, what's up? I'm Lexi, I'm gonna be a nurse today. But that's just so nerve-wracking because like, you know, these patients are here because they're sick and there's something wrong with them, and you're like, oh my god, what if I take their blood pressure wrong and it does something? What if like I write down the wrong heartbeat and like they die or something? Like the littlest things will make you go crazy. Like I was so scared when I first started. I thought everything was gonna lead to a mistake. I'm like, oh my god, I did that wrong. What if something bad happens? Because they really scare you in nursing school with all like the medication errors and just like medical errors in general, and you feel like they're so fragile, and it's just like, ugh. What advice would you give someone starting nursing school with no previous medical experience? So I had no previous medical experience before I started nursing school, and the advice I would give you is probably don't worry about it. You will learn everything on the way. Like there were a lot of students that I went to school with that were CNAs or techs and had all this experience in the hospital, and I had none. And I felt like I'm way behind and all these people have such an advantage over me. And honestly, it's not that much of a difference. Like, you all start on level playing ground and they teach you everything you need to know. So don't feel like you have to already know about healthcare before starting, because they teach you everything you need to know. How do you sleep after a shift? Girl, like a baby. I worked in a small medical office, and no matter how long I spent on my feet, everything that happened during my day kept running through my mind. I've actually had this problem. When I first started working as a tech, probably my first few shifts, I like made like really stupid errors. Like, it honestly was not even anything serious, and I like beat myself up over it. I would go home at night and I literally could not sleep. I would have dreams about patients all night long, and I would just keep waking up. Like, I would have a dream that I made a mistake and a patient was hurt, and I'm like, oh my gosh. And I would like just sit and think about my whole day and be like, oh my god, I forgot to do this, oh my god, I did that wrong, and I would literally beat myself up over it, and I could not sleep. And honestly, the only thing that got me over that is time and confidence in myself. As I started building up my confidence and my practice, I was sleeping like a baby, and I was not having any patient dreams after that, because I would literally have dreams about patients all night long and I could not sleep. I'd be waking up every hour because I worried about my patients. But that will go away with time, hopefully. You just have to desensitize yourself to it, and then just have like a nice little relaxing night routine. Take a bubble bath or read a book, light a candle, listen to some music, and just like unwind from your day. Did you have a favorite class in nursing school? Yes, I had a favorite class in nursing school, and it was OB and Peds. In my program, they combined it into one, so we had OB and Peds in the same class, and every week they would just switch the subjects. Like, one week would be OB and the next week would be Peds. And you guys know, like, I love pediatrics. That's probably what I'm gonna end up in later on down the road. So that was obviously my favorite class. Like, I loved learning about it. I loved the labs. I loved clinical. Like, that was hands down my favorite subject. How did you study for pharmacology? I get this question a lot, and actually I did not take pharmacology. My program did this thing where they incorporated pharmacology into every class, so we didn't learn it all in like one bulk. So the way I studied was a lot different than how most people probably studied. What we used is drug sheets, and I'm gonna make a video on this later on. But basically the drug sheets, you know, you write the name of the drug, common side effects, and blah blah blah, and that's just how I studied for them. I would just read the drug sheets and pair it with disease processes, and I kind of just learned by the suffixes, because pharmacology was my worst subject. Like, I'm really bad with medication, so I don't want to give you guys like information and then it doesn't work for you, because I was really bad at it. I'm definitely gonna make a video to make it a little bit easier for you guys. Alrighty, so that is the end of part 1. Make sure you guys stay tuned for part 2 of the Q&A.